I would say that God has really been bound and determined to use whatever that he wants to kind of take me out of my comfort zone and put me in situations where I grow and I change, and I am struggling with who I've been and who he wants me to be, and kind of seeing the dissonance between those two things. And he's really used like the centered events and the people, really. I mean, the events and the gatherings are just a facilitation for the relationships that happen after that. God was starting to open up these places and conversations and opportunities to challenge what my foundation, what my stability was built on, and to feel like he's completely restructuring me as a house, so that my foundation and everything that my life is built on is centered around him. So part of the kind of deconstruction, reconstruction that God's been doing on my life has been through showing me where I've put a lot of my stability, kind of what I'm leaning on. And that's not necessarily been the most pleasant thing, because when you're leaning on something and then it falls apart, you're kind of thrown for a loop, and you're like, what is my life built off then? What can I rely on? The funny thing is that every time he has to remind me of where my center is constantly, because I keep trying to put in like my work or my education or even like my family, and the fact that, they'll always be there. And every time when something of that sort wavers or fails, he's brought me back to this place of like, you can rest in me and be centered in me, and I will give you freedom to walk into any situation. So to me, being centered on Jesus is freedom, complete and absolute freedom, because it's not based on me. It's not based on my abilities, or it's not based on the situations that have been set up in my life, although extremely blessed and like extremely provided for when I'm centered on Jesus, which is really just being in love. Everything else kind of fades in comparison, and I find myself doing things that I never really would have thought that I could ever handle,